Hi guys, welcome back to the Social Tune, and I am excited. Why? Because it's November, and you all know what that means. No, you don't. Why would you? Don't lie to me. It means it's my birthday month, and I fucking hate people who say that, but considering I have a YouTube channel, it kinda feels appropriate. Basically, this month is going to be all about what I want. Sure, you'll get your record roundups and your mid-month review as scheduled, but otherwise it's gonna be all about the reviews that I've wanted to make for a long time. And considering the 2017 year-end lists are right around the corner, I want to return to 2016 one last time.
I hate you, I love you, I hate that I love you. Don't want to, but I can't put nobody else above you.
2016 fucking sucked. Yes, I know, this is nothing new at this point, but it still pisses me off every time I revisit it. Hell, a lot of the worst hit songs of 2017 emerged in 2016 as a legacy to its disgrace. And I was kinder to 2016 than most, as some critics didn't even make a best hit songs list at the end of the year. And looking back on it, yeah, my thoughts haven't really changed. The year as a whole was pretty awful, but there were some decent songs thrown in there, and even some great ones. But honestly, the worst thing about 2016 is that, at first, it didn't seem all that bad. In fact, there were several times where a song appeared on the charts and I felt a surge of hope. And today, those are the songs that I want to talk about. The songs that appeared and looked for a moment like they were going to be huge, but ultimately missed the year-end list, either by a small or large margin. And so these are the top 10 almost hit songs of 2016, starting with our honorable mentions.
If I ever call your phone, baby, better believe it's only one time. Pick up the phone, baby. I know you're home, baby. It's lit.
Yes, really. Why do I love this song so much? Well, for one, our performers are really doing their best, and even the constant auto-tune and the popping noises in the instrumentation actually managed to work for me. But the thing that works best is the main melody, which yes, is one pattern repeated ad nauseum, but it gets stuck in your head so easily. And again, our performers just work so well over it, especially Young Thug. So yeah, it's a great song and a highlight on both Jeffrey and Birds in the Trap.
You'll never grow up, you're never gonna be a man. Peter Pan.
Country music was seriously snubbed in 2016, with only 3 songs making the year-end list. And spoilers, this will not be the only country song you see on this list. I've said before that, in terms of pop country anyway, Kelsea Ballerini is a cut above a lot of her male contemporaries, with catchier hooks and generally smarter writing, which is all showcased perfectly in this great song about a guy who's a bit of a man-child and refuses to grow up, hence the title. And I really like how Kelsea Ballerini balances kindness with the understanding that she has to move on. It's handled really maturely. Pair it with the great smooth pop country production and you have a shoo-in for this list. And speaking of damn great pop country songs that I've already talked about,
No matter how late, baby, I'll be staying up. I can't sleep without you.
this was very close to making the top 10, which may surprise some of you. After all, several fans of country music have torn this song a new one for being too clingy or maybe too possessive. But I never got that. After all, this is a song where he tells his girlfriend to go out and have fun with her friends, and yet he still misses her while she's away. Honestly, at least for me, this deserved to be a hit more than In Case You Didn't Know, even if that's still a solid song. Either way, they're both sweet, well-produced, and in the case of Sleep Without You, has a great catchy chorus that deserved a lot more attention.
Find me where the wild things are.
I really do like Alessia Cara. I wish I had more chances to prove that on this channel. And in this song, combining my own nostalgia with some great production, I finally have the chance to do that. This is more melodic than some of Lord's hits on this subject, better produced than an Echo Smith track, and overall a lot more listenable and less obnoxious than your typical Halsey song. It's kind of a typical Outkast song, but it has enough great production and references to one of my favorite children's books that I really do love it. Great song. Every year we have at least one song that becomes huge all over the world except the US, and as per usual, it's a really great song. I struggled between putting this or Light It Up on this list, but ultimately I went with this one because A, it was much closer to becoming an actual hit, and B, it's just a great example of sampling with a much punchier horn line. It just sounds so great. Either way, for me and many others, this was the summer jam we were all dancing to, and it definitely deserves the recognition.
Ain't no mercy, ain't no mercy. Got that purple Lamborghini lurking.
The Suicide Squad soundtrack was both bigger and smaller than a lot of people expected. For one, we got both Heathens and Sucker for Pain from it, both of which I like but don't love. Meanwhile, this banger was huge for a bit, but ultimately flopped, which is a shame because it's awesome. Rick Ross has always worked great over bombastic production, and just like on his last album, he sounds savage here. He really is good when he sounds hungry for the top. I would almost compare him to a much less lyrical and less conscious Killer Mike. Almost. But the main reason that this song is here is the drop courtesy of Skrillex. Holy shit, it is awesome. It's jerky and demented in the best possible way while still managing to fit the villainous tone of the song. Not quite the best banger on this list, but it's definitely a strong contender. And with that out of the way, let's get around to the top 10.
Baby, you're perfect. Baby, you're perfect. So let's start right now.
So as usual, 2017's Grammy Award show was a complete shambles. Beyoncé, of all people, got seriously snubbed, which I never thought I would say, and there were many choices that made sense from a populist standpoint, but not necessarily a critical or award-winning one. However, there was one artist who received a lot of praise and actually benefited from the award show quite a bit. And as far as I'm concerned, he absolutely deserved it. I'm going to be blunt and admit that I don't quite love this song as much as some of my contemporaries, as many of them called it one of the best songs of 2017 overall. I wouldn't go that far. The production can feel a tad crowded, especially with those gospel vocals that are repeated throughout the entire song, even though he does it way better than Demi Lovato did. But what makes up for that are the content and the performers.
If one more label try to stop me, it's gonna be some dreadhead niggas in your lobby. You don't want no problem with me.
To me, this song makes perfect sense for Chance the Rapper, a song bashing record labels who would hold back artists and their creativity. And the fact that this song alone earned him so many accolades is kind of funny in a twisted way. It really does feel cathartic. Although, not quite as cathartic as Lil Wayne.
I got problems bigger than these boys. Yeah, my deposits, they be on steroids. Lord, free the Carter, niggas need the Carter.
Keep in mind, Wayne has been struggling to release music these past few years thanks to walking, talking, dirtbag Birdman. So listening to him go off against his label on this song is pretty satisfying. And while his verse isn't quite as cathartic as the other two's, 2 Chainz really does deliver.
I'm so high, me and God dapping. This my blessing, this my passion. School of hard knocks, I took night classes.
Weird to think that this guy used to be the worst thing in hip-hop. Oh, how the times have changed. And honestly, despite my complaints with the production, they really do ride this elated groove so well. It's such a bright and happy song. I'm still surprised that Chance the Rapper has not got more prominent in the mainstream, especially considering his buzz. But hey, if we somehow got King Kendrick to top the charts, anything's possible. Awesome song.
So let's start right now.
So after a song about the struggle and the pain that artists go through while going up against their micromanaging and obsessive record labels, what song have I picked to top it? Something highbrow, clever, and classy? Something somber and full of heartbreaking truth? Well, what do you think?
Baby, I'ma tell you some only 'cause I love you. People all around the world, sexy motherfuckers.
Get ugly.
Diddly 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 diddly. Diddly 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 diddly. Yeah. Diddly 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 diddly.
Get ugly.
I've stated in the past that Jason Derulo is a huge guilty pleasure for me. His music is dumb, and he has made some legitimately reprehensible songs in his time. But the rest of the time, he's either being so earnest and sincere, or so stupidly fun that I just find myself loving him.
Oh my, oh my, oh my god. This girl straight and this girl not. Tipsy off that piece of rock like.
Even by Jason Derulo standards, this song really is impressively stupid. It's a song where he's telling women to get ugly so that he can be worthy of them. As a compliment, it's clumsy as all hell, but don't worry, people have come up with another theory for what this song's about.
Get ugly.
Some have made the assertion that this line is telling girls to take off their makeup because they're uglier and yet more natural without it. Yeah, no. I mean, for one thing, if that is the message, it's frankly just insulting. But for another thing, do you really think the guy who made this
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
is capable of thinking on that level?
Do your thing, girl, do that thing like. To them pretty faced girls trying to press each other and friends. Undercover freaks who ain't none but trouble.
The simple fact of the matter is, I don't love this song because it's remotely intelligent. I love it because it's the exact opposite. Everything from the vocals to the lyrics to especially the production is wonderful in how clueless it is.
Get ugly. Get ugly.
Why is Ned Flanders on this song? No clue, but it works. And then the song closes off with a legitimately awesome instrumental switch up.
Get ugly.
This is the type of song that should have come out in the 90s. It really does fit into the what the fuckness of that time. But no, it came out in 2016 and I am not about to complain. God bless this stupid, stupid mess.
Too sexy to man. So sexy. That's ugly.
Baby, you're perfect. Baby, you're perfect. So let's start right now.
Why I got you on my mind? Why I got you on my mind? Why I got you on my mind?
I had a lot of people telling me they expected to see this on my worst list last year. I guess because I love Don't so much, it would make sense for me to hate the far inferior answer to that. Honestly, I barely remembered it after hearing it the first time, and even though I did revisit it several times after that in preparation for the year-end list, I honestly found it a lot more tolerable than a lot of the crap we got that year. Plus, I've never hated Ellie Goulding. She's always been a great singer, even on her bad songs like Love Me Like You Do. And at her best, she can make great hits like Burn, Lights, and this.
Baby, can't leave what you waiting for. Something the way you move, something the way you do it, something the way you move. Oh, something the way you move, something the way you do it, something the way you move. Oh.
Pop music last year was drab and boring. There was barely any life to be found, which is why a somewhat danceable and upbeat song really caught my eye last year.
There's an evil night and the stars don't shine tonight. No. Something the way you do, something the way you push me closer, further, bring me just enough. Your lies always seem so true. There's nothing left for me to lose.
There's nothing complex about this song, it's just about how this guy's movement makes her feel. It's love-struck, it's almost kind of generic, but god damn does Ellie Goulding give it her all.
But tonight I'm gonna lose it all. Playing with fire, I was the first to fall.
She just sounds fantastic on this song, which is definitely aided by the production, which is sweeping and grand with touches of bells that really do add some beauty to this track.
When our eyes meet, I can only see the end. But tonight, I'm here, yours again.
Like I said, pretty straightforward and pretty damn gorgeous. Great job.
Something the way you move, something the way you do it, something the way you move. Oh,
Baby, you're perfect. Baby, you're perfect. So let's start right now.
Come on now, this should not surprise you. I've praised this song on multiple occasions, and the album was in my top 10 best albums of last year. So despite what so many critics have said about this song, it's here and it absolutely deserves it.
I got hot sauce in my bag, swag. I see it, I want it. I stunt yellow on it. I dream it, I work hard, I grind till I own it. I twirl on them middles, albino alligators, El Camino with a CeeLo, sipping Cuervo and Ochisa.
It's strange, I'm usually not a fan of Beyonce's more ratchet side, but this song really does work for me. For one, there's the production, which is easily Mike Will's best up until his work on Kendrick's newest album this year.
You mix that Negro with that Creole, make a Texas Bama. I like my baby hair with baby hair and afro. I like my Negro nose with Jackson 5 nostrils.
Despite what many would have you believe, this is not a political anthem. It comes at the end of an album of misery and emotional turmoil for Beyonce, and it ends on a high note that is so welcome as she just brags about how she's in charge of her man. And there is some seriously hilarious imagery here.
When he fuck me good, I take his ass to Red Lobster. If it hit it right, I might take him on a flight on my chopper. Drop him off at the mall, let him buy some J's, let him shop up.
She just sells it. It's great to hear her sound so confident again after all that hardship. Plus, I've been in love with this song since 2015's Super Bowl.
Okay, ladies, now let's get in formation.
Fellas, let's get this stadium shaking.
Now let's get in formation.
Say my name, you know who I am.
Say my name, you know who I am.
Yep, that is a monstrous combination of Formation and one of the best hit songs in recent memory. And look, there are other songs from Lemonade that I could have put here, like Hold Up. But while Formation may be the simplest song on that album, it's so bombastic, cathartic, and likable that I can't help but love it. Awesome job, B. You definitely earned this spot.
You know you that bitch when you cause all this conversation. Always stay gracious, best revenge is your paper.
Baby, you're perfect. Baby, you're perfect. So let's start right now.
Well, unlike our last pick, here's a song that you should all have expected to see here because everyone has praised it.
kiss it, baby.
Yep, my favorite track off of Rihanna's controversial album Anti, and boy is it gorgeous. If you ever wondered what Rihanna would sound like on an epic rock song, here, eat your heart out.
Hurting vibe and it hurts inside when I look you in your eyes. What are you willing to do? Oh, tell me what you're willing to do. Kiss it, baby.
That electric guitar blending with her vocals is so gorgeous, and on top of that, it's a literal kiss-off anthem.
Man, fuck your pride. Just take it on back, boy. Take it on back, boy. Take it back all night. Just take it on back. Take it on back.
While many have praised Needed Me for its lyrics promoting Rihanna's independence, it never reached this. And plus, it's just better produced.
You needed me. Ooh.
Grating as hell,
Oh, tell me what you're willing to do. Kiss it, baby.
striking and opulent. What more can I say? It's an awesome song, one of Rihanna's best, and it definitely deserved to be the big hit out of all the songs she released from Anti.
start right now.
I've stated many times at this point that an artist I hate can make a song that I love and they will be boosted up a few slots higher on these lists. But please understand, this is not one of those cases. For one, I don't hate the artist, I just never expected them to make anything good. And secondly, this song would have made it here regardless because it is utterly heartbreaking and I can't believe it came so close to becoming an actual hit in 2016.
It's one of those moments that's got your name written all over it. And you know that if I had just one wish, it'd be that you didn't have to miss this. You should be here.
Out of all the songs on this list, this is the song that annoyed me the most when I read the year-end list of 2016. I was absolutely certain it would make the year-end. I included it on that list and everything. You can't imagine how disappointed I was when it didn't end up making the cut.
It's one of those never forget it, better stop and take it in kind of scenes. Everything's just right, yeah, except for one thing.
Seriously, the fact that the asinine Holy by Florida Georgia Line made the year-end list and this didn't really does piss me off. One is a brainless, badly produced mess, and the other is a well-produced, heartfelt, great song dedicated to a deceased parent. And guess which one I prefer?
You'd be taking way too many pictures on your phone, showing them off to everybody that you know back home, and even some you don't. Yeah, they say now you're in a better place, and I would be too if I could see your face. You should be here.
Surprisingly, or unsurprisingly if you really think about it, my favorite part of this song is Cole Swindle himself, as he absolutely sells the grief of a son who's faced with life without his father and collapsing in on himself. And look, some have criticized this song for mentioning drinking beer and the fact that Cole Swindle is sad because his father will no longer be there to praise him, and fuck those people!
You should be here, standing with your arm around me here, cutting up, cracking a cold beer, saying cheers.
The best part of this song is that it's not complex, it's heartbreakingly simple, and I can believe that Cole Swindle wrote this. Which, yeah, doesn't throw turns of phrases in there, but it does make it more genuine and relatable.
Oh, you should be here, you'd be loving this, you'd be freaking out, you'd be smiling, yeah, I know you'd be all about what's going on right here, right now. God, I wish somehow you could be here.
Truly a heartbreaking song from an artist who I never expected to surprise me. But I'm very glad he did. My congratulations and condolences, Cole Swindle. You have my support.
You should be here. Let's start right now.
So, if you know anything about country music, you know that there are several artists who are on the brink of actually breaking through to the mainstream who love experimenting. Brad Paisley still gets a minor charting hit now and again, like Today. Same goes for Jake Owen with songs like American Country Love Song. But to me, outshining both of them, here's the guy who really does encapsulate that, no matter how misunderstood he may be.
And they'll all hold up their hands. They'll all want to dance. Mr. Misunderstood. Mr. Misunderstood. First time I met Alabama Hannah, I was skinny as a rail.
There are songs that are absolutely tailor-made for music critics, and spoiler alert, this is not the only one of those that you will see on this list. For one, it contains several music references designed to make you feel nostalgic, and for another, the song itself is about a young musician who's trying to interact with the rest of the world despite feeling more comfortable around music than people.
Head and wheel kid in your high-top shoes, sitting in the back of the class, I was just like you. Always left out, never fit in on that path. you're walking in.
Hell, in this song, the kid even goes on a musical journey, starting off sitting at the back of the class wishing to woo all the girls with his guitar.
One day you lead the charge, you lead the band, guitar hero and lightning hands.
To him actually becoming a musician, to the industry trying to water him down, to finally him defiantly sticking to his guns. And all of this on a strong guitar-driven song that builds to a great crescendo near the end.
Play with fire and I played on ledges every circus stage and county fair. They try to find my points, sand my edges, and I just grew out my hair.
And to make this song even more critic-baity than it already was, the song actually has him addressing another young musician, as the bridge echoes the sympathy that he feels towards this weird kid who is sitting at the back of the class.
Didn't wicked and you had tap shoes, sitting in the back of the class. I was just like you, Mr. Misunderstood. I understood, Mr. Misunderstood. I understood, Mr. Misunderstood.
I won't say that this song is absolutely tailor-made for me like it is to some other music critics, but it's still absolutely gorgeous. And it's a damn amazing song from one of my favorite albums of 2015. Great job, Eric Church. I cannot wait for your next release.
Baby, you're perfect. Baby, you're perfect. So let's start right now.
At this point, I've talked about this song so much on this channel that it barely needs an introduction. So that's all you're getting. Play it!
I live my day as if it was the last. Live my day as if there was no past. Doing it all night, all summer. Doing it the way I wanna. Yeah, I'ma dance my heart out till the dawn. But I won't be done when morning comes. Doing it all night, all summer. Gonna spend it like no other.
The fact that Zara Larsson has not been more successful in the US really does kind of baffle me. I mean, she's a great singer, she has a talent for great hooks, and she's a young, good-looking pop starlet. Come on, America, that ticks off your one standard for pop music, and then two more on top of that. But apart from Never Forget You, she really hasn't seen much success at all. Luckily though, I live in Ireland, where she's had a fair amount of success with great crossover hits like Symphony and, of course, this.
That's all it was, so I gave it up. I live my day as if it was the last. Live my day as if there was no past. Doing it all night, all summer.
This was a pop song so good that I couldn't wait for the album to be released, as it made my top 50 songs of 2016 for damn good reason. And it hasn't faded on me even a little, as it's ridiculously catchy, laid back and likable, reflecting that feeling of living in the moment perfectly.
Now I found another crush. The lush life giving me a rush. Had one chance to make me blush. Second time is one to let. Now I found another crush. The lush life giving me a rush. Had one chance to make me blush. Second time is one to let.
It's unlikely that Zara Larsson will ever top this, but honestly, I don't mind one bit. Awesome song, close to pop perfection, and yet only number 3, so what beat it?
Had one chance to make me blush. Second time is one to let.
Baby, you're perfect. Baby, you're perfect. So let's start right now.
Well, this should be obvious. What can top a song that is close to pop perfection? Actual pop perfection, of course.
You got me lifted, feeling so gifted. Sugar, how you get so fly? Sugar, how you get so fly? Oh, sugar, how you get so fly? Sugar, how you get so fly?
From the moment I heard this song, I fell in love with it. And I know, it came out in 2015, but it didn't chart until 2016, so it counts. Most of you are probably familiar with Robin Schulz at this point, as he made that popular remix of Waves, but you're probably less familiar with Francesco Yates.
Once you come near it, you don't have to fear it. I just want you to hear it. It's better to be loved.
Basically, think Justin Timberlake with way worse hair. So basically NSYNC era Justin Timberlake. And I have to say, I love the material that I've heard so far. But even with the great R&B and disco touch tracks that he's known for in his home country of Canada, he's never quite topped this for me.
Cherry lips, angel eyes. She knows exactly how to tantalize. She's out to get you, danger by design. Cold-blooded vixen, she don't compromise.
The lyrics are straightforward and yet still awesome, as they describe this mystical girl who may be dangerous, but shouldn't get cocky because he's a beast himself.
So far from typical, but take my advice. Before you play with fire, do think twice. And if you get burned, don't be surprised.
It's the one time calling a woman sugar actually feels warranted. I will say though, the place that this song originated from was unexpected.
And every time we kick it, it's all to the groovy. Treat you like my sticky icky or my sweet ooey gooey.
Got me lifted, shifted higher than the ceiling, and ooh, it's the ultimate feeling.
Yeah, you all remember this guy, right?
She moves her body like a cyclone, and she makes me wanna do it all night long.
All I can say is thank God Robin Schulz had the good sense to borrow from one of his good songs. And even then, this is eons better than the original.
She's out to get you, you can't run, you can't hide. She's something mystical, they call her lights. I say, so far from typical, but take my advice. Before you play with fire, do think twice. And if you get burned, well baby, don't you be surprised.
I absolutely adore this song, and if I had actually heard it back in 2015, it would have easily made my top 50 songs of that year. So, with that in mind, what actually managed to top this list?
Let's start right now.
Okay, at the end of the day, there was only going to be one song that would top this list. Hell, you could argue that this song was my reason for making this list in the first place, purely to give more love to a song that I've already highly praised. Because while Sugar could have made my top 50 songs of 2015, this song actually did.
I want bourbon, I want scotch, I want beer. I'm having a record year. Quarter notes and Hank's halftime. A pounding on this a heart of mine. Song to song, I pass my time with these speakers on 10.
When I first saw this song charting last year, I nearly had a fit. With the exception of Jason Isbell, this guy made my favorite country song of 2015 overall, as it ended up in the top 10, only one spot below this.
And I'm sorry.
Yeah, that song that I won't shut up about. That's the kind of quality we're talking about here. And unlike Mr. Misunderstood, I can really relate to this one.
Now, since you turned the tables on me, I've been steady learning lonely, keeping this turntable spinning. Everything from Jones to Jennings, slowly planning my survival in a 3-foot stack of vinyl.
This is a song where he's sitting down with a pile of records so that he can work through his breakup. And what I like so much about the song is that it's sad but also weirdly grateful. After all, if this girl hadn't broken his heart, he wouldn't have discovered all of this classic music. And as someone who probably wouldn't even have this channel if it weren't for the sad times they'd gone through, I relate to this song on a deeply personal level.
Your leaving left me going crazy. I'm counting on a needle to save me. I drop it in a groove, and we go round and round and down in a spiral. I guess I really ought to call and thank you. I rediscovered Red-Headed Stranger. Got down with old James Brown and found new grass revival. If you find your way back, I owe you a beer for my record year.
Seriously, this is just Mr. Misunderstood, but better in every single way. It has even more nerdy music references, the instrumentation is even better, and it builds to an absolutely phenomenal chorus.
Your good and gone keeps me up all night along with songs in the key of life.
I absolutely adore this song. It's one of my favorite country songs of the decade, no question. Thank you once again, Eric Church, for making this incredible gem. Easily my number one, the song that would have made 2016 immeasurably more tolerable, at least for me.
Yeah, you're out there now, doing God knows how, but I'm stuck here, having a record year.
So, thank you guys for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. See, 2016 had some real potential, it just didn't live up to it. But hey, at least it gave me the opportunity to make this list, so I guess some good did come out of it. Either way, if there's any more random lists that you'd like to see me do, please post those in the comments below. Don't worry, you'll get your regularly scheduled top 10 list later this month. This is just to tide you guys over. Hope you enjoyed. Please subscribe so you don't miss a thing, and until the next time, I'm Finn, and this is the Social Tunes signing off.
Yeah, I'm having a record